I read for K-pop. I don't read for people. Hey, Chachalino. Good morning. Hey, Dania. Have you seen the K-pop Demon Hunters movie? Yes, I have. Yes, I love it. Actually, it was very well done. I enjoy it, even though like probably it's not for my audience. I mean, I'm 40, but I really was entertained. I was like, oh, it's really good. Um, the images, everything, the music, everything, and it was so funny, so entertaining. I think I'm going to watch it twice. I'm going to watch one more time because it was really good. I had fun. Yes, the music is so good. Hmm. The characters too. I loved it. The images, the colors. Wow, it was everything. Really well done. We should have gotten like a series of that instead of having this very lame series. Yes, I love that. Yes. I love that for each of us when we see the members, we are like, oh, there could be this idol or this could be this person, for the girls and for the guys. So yes, it definitely these are stereotypes or archetypes. Yes, um, it was so fun. It was so fun. Really well done. Like it's been a while since I watched like something like this of animation that actually I felt like it was it was really entertaining. That it's not like I was watching um just because of some funny parts and that's it. No, the whole thing was really well done. I told my niece about it. I was like, you should check it out. She's not into K-pop. She doesn't like K-pop. But, she's a teenager, so maybe, the part of the girls, having these crushes on these handsome guys, maybe she finds it cute or she finds it hilarious. I don't know. But I was like, you should check it out. Yes, uh-huh, yes. Yes, it works for people who don't know K-pop. In my list for today, I have um actually I'm happy that you guys came because hey Fluffy because just like when I started, very random people started to join, asking personal questions, and then there were some verbs in there, speaking in Spanish. And that's because I forgot to set, that usually I set for the comment section, I in the chat, I set it for subscribers only, and you have to pass certain months to be able to, leave the comment. And I forgot, I created the live stream last night and I forgot because, I had been busy, taking care of Kali, that she got fixed, a day ago, almost 2 days. So I'm checking on her, checking that she doesn't scratch, the part of the, uh, the stitches and everything is out there, is very delicate. And I wanted to put, this sort of vest that is like is for cats. to cover the part, but she went crazy when I tried to put it on. So I was like, okay, okay, I will let her be. So I I created the live stream very very late last night, and I forgot to set it up for subscribers only. So then I got all these scripts in the comment section. Um, and it's actually very interesting because I believe that the other day I follow the only tarot reader that I follow her lives on TikTok. She's from Spain. Besides, being really good at reading cards, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. And there was, I remember I entered, when you enter a live stream and or a live on TikTok, and it's very early. It's like maybe she just like turn it turn it on. And there was these random comments, very aggressive of, I suppose it's men. I don't know. Um, but oh my God, like they were gross. They were awful, awful in the comments. And I was like, wow, like, that's something that I don't know if it's like bots, if it's real people. But I'm like, oh my God, like you're so gross. Like this is when I put the restrictions, it may sound a bit extreme that, that I put the restrictions for like 6 months. But I believe it's necessary. It's necessary because, I cannot have you guys like all the time, like trying to be pendant if someone says something inappropriate, or if they are start spamming. This, of course, there's people that could subscribe. This is why I put the subscribers option like very far away from months, because people, if you put like, oh, subscribers only, someone can subscribe and just leave their comment. And I think that is very distracting, it's unnecessary. And sometimes even when I have the restrictions, I have the specifications on, sometimes every now and then there's someone that somehow passes and enters, that I know is not part of the community. So they must have their ways as well. Yes, safety is necessary on the internet, and especially for us, for women. I think that's the thing that I find it so gross, and also I don't like spamming. I don't like it. I remember when I didn't have my channel, but I would watch other people's like live stream. I would join, and I didn't understand, the thing about, people being like, no, no, don't spam, stop requesting the same, definitely the person that would be on the live stream, they would get very upset. And I wouldn't understand it. Like, I would be like, wow, well, don't read it. I was like, well, then don't pay attention to this. But I think that now that I'm on this side, it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Um, and and yes, you can do something, but for example, I remember once I tried to block someone and I ended up blocking one of you guys. I remember, I think I blocked Samara. I think it was Samara because the chat kept going up. So when I pressed, this username, somehow her name came up, and I ended up like I put blocking her. This is why you do need people that can help you to moderate. But then I have all these scripts that they talk on in Spanish, and maybe some of you don't know Spanish, some of you don't understand it very much, and you're like, okay, is this person being nice or what are they talking about? So. Kali is doing well. She's like climbing already. She shouldn't, but I cannot stop her. She's climbing the furniture. She's on top of the fridge again. She's a wildcat. She's not supposed to go on heights, but I cannot. I mean, I have her inside, but the thing is that she climbs. She climbs the kitchen sink. Then from the kitchen sink, she climbs into another furniture and she does this whole, uh, you know, um, this whole journey. She knows how to do this, and it's her thing. She loves to be, in height. She's doing well. She's eating well. Um, I got a bit the first night, yeah, I couldn't sleep because she was so nervous. She was so out of control. She was trembling. Not only trembling, she had like this very odd tick on her head. She would move her head like this all the time. She wouldn't stop. She wouldn't stop moving her head like this. Um, and she would be acting crazy, just trying to get out, and just running, but then, falling. And it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because I believe that maybe when they did apply the anesthesia on her, maybe she was being a bit like aggressive, and so maybe um, the less memory that she has of that experience is protecting herself or trying to run away. So this is why I think that maybe her head, she got this like tick, because she would be like scared, but at the same time very on the defense, aggressive. Even though I would try to calm her down, I would talk to her, but she would be like, trying to escape. Um, just like I think that she probably had a bad time. Yeah, she probably tried to beat one of it. I think that she fought. She fought for her life while the anesthesia was being administered to her. And maybe when once it was, slowly going away, maybe she got those second effects. But yeah, I'm watching out for her so she doesn't leak. They said that it's not necessary because they did an internal stitch, something like this. I don't. It is my first time. They are like, you don't have to get her like the cone on her head. You don't have to put her anything. It's going to be okay. Um, you have to have a strong boundaries when it comes to live streams. Some people just don't know how to behave. Yes, I think I blocked the Kia by mistake once. Yeah, because the comments move so fast that mm, I act like that too at the doctor. Yeah, probably leftover symptoms from anesthesia. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was stressing. Like it's been a while, the vet, when I was signing up the papers, to leave her there, um, he was going to give me the indications, to take care of her. And the first thing he asked me is like, do you have experience with, with this, with post-operatory, like, when having cats being fixed? And I said, yes, I do have experience. I had a lot of cats, that had been fixed, but it's been a while. I went back to my memory and I was like, yes, I do have experience, but it's been like 12 years. So yeah, maybe give me the indications anyway. Because no, when you think like, yeah, I do know, that you have to get them, on the ground, you don't have to put them in high places because they can fall. Um, but um I think that I don't remember. I do remember for some, but then I don't remember the whole sequence of how we did it. This is my first time that I'm actually home, like all day and also all night when I took care of her. So I believe that this is like the because I had another cast, but I think that for Negrita I know that my dad took her to get fixed because I was at work. So when I came back, she was already like, coming back from anesthesia. She was already like recovering. Um, and we didn't have any problems with her. So it's a whole process because you think that but now that I had this with Kali, I'm like, yeah, I know, but this experience with her was very different. There was a point where I saw her just like acting so weird and complaining that I was like, oh my God, poor cat. Like, why did I do this to her? I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty. I was like, why did I get her like this? Look at the poor cat. She was really like, she was so miserable like this, like while recovering. I felt very sorry for her. The vet didn't give you a what's the word, eat a rough, the high color thing. No, he didn't. He said it's not necessary. I remember my other cats, yeah. But I think that he's right because the stitches are very different. It's like, yeah, you can see them, but they don't have like the thread out. So even if she licks it, maybe she cannot pull it out. The cone of shame. I could be dying and still no needle will get close to me. I just look away nowadays when it comes to needles. I gave up. Like I have no. It hurts for me, but because I had lupus since a very young age, and I remember when I was still at the hospital, and they wouldn't know. They were doing the research to know what was wrong with me. I had I don't know how you call it in Spanish in English. This thing that keeps you seated. Um, um, no, it's not serum. It's a saline solution. Um, how do you say it in English? Yeah, that thing. I think it's that thing because that's what the vet told me that this is how they do it, so she will not need anything. And actually, they were like, you don't have to come back to get them removed. They will. I don't know. They will dissipate, disappear. They will fall. I don't know. But they were like, no, you don't have to come back to get them out. And I was like, oh, okay. At first, when he told me, I was like, "What?" Because also it's been a while, so I'm so outdated about the operation, how they do this these days. But at the same time, I was like, they did remove a lot of hair from her. Like she's bald, her whole belly. Like, and we are in winter. I will have to get her a tiny coat. I will have to get her a coat, clothing, to cover her because her whole part over here is all bald. They shave her too much. Um, well, I had that, that, um, and when you have that, I don't know how you say it, guys, in English. When you are a lot of when you are in the hospital because you have to stay. Uh, um, they put you those things in you, and then I remember I would have to walk to the bathroom it was like a silver cane that would be there was this plastic bag with yeah, this is it saline solution, and I will be pushing the straw. I will be pushing it, go to the bathroom, and then come back to the um and there were moments that, because you move, it would get infected with blood, because it would, so they would have to remove it and put one new band-aid and the needle. And I remember when I was 30 days in there, and when I got out, I remember it was all this part, my hand was green, was all bruised because of, how many times they had to remove it and put it on, remove it and put it on, um, because my veins are very sensitive, are very thin. So, it's a whole, also is I think that they they would start here, and then if they wouldn't find it, they would be here, they would put it in here also. um Silent. Yeah, yeah. That's why I I don't. It's not that, because then after that whole experience with the needles and being hospitalized, because I was 12. So, my first time having an experience like this, then I had to, I have to, once I was at my house, I had to start taking these pills, this medication that I never had pills in my life. So I wouldn't know, there was a lot of pills that I had to consume. Um, and then, because it's lupus, and because it's, like, the count of the blood cells, it's all, it's like the measures is not okay, so I will have to get once a month a blood test. And the blood test, when you have lupus, the blood test is very complex. They usually, the doctors, they make a very long list of things to analyze in that blood test, a very long list. So when it's time for me to get, to get this extraction of the blood, usually they take a lot of blood from me. It's not like the usual needle, the thin one, no, it's a very large needle. It's a very large needle, the thing, the tube is very large, is, and they pull a lot of blood, and usually then they put it in tiny tubes of, I believe it, they are 10, sometimes 10 tiny tubes. They put all the blood in there. So when it comes to you know getting, these blood extractions, for me, I just give up my arm like this, and I'm like, go ahead, do it. Because it's my life, it's my life. And at the same time, I'm like, I don't expect, and this is something that I'm like, um I don't know if with lupus is they came up with something, with a new discovery, but for me it's like, I know my numbers, or um the how do you say this, the account of number of, what they are looking for, it will never be normal. I don't know why, but it will never be normal. So sometimes I'm like, it's such a waste of time that you make me like take so much blood, when you know that I'm not going to get you a result where you're like, oh, now you know that your numbers actually came out right. um so yeah, I'm a bit like, Mm. There, IV access. I didn't know how to say it. I knew it was IV. Yes, IV. And also the IV access is very painful because they administrate that serum that, or and well, if there's of course another antibiotics in there, and you feel it, and it's so painful because you feel it going inside your veins, and it's so painful. It's more painful than any kind of sting that you can get while having the needle. The movement of of you feeling the medication going inside your veins is the worst. As an adult, I finally figured out how to live with needles. I look away and tell them not to come toward me when it's coming. I used to be a fighter as a kid. Yeah, also as a kid, I was very like I remember I noticed this when I was very young. I would notice all the kids around me, they would be crying and making a scene. And actually, them crying would scare me the most because I was like, okay, what is going on in here? But when it was my turn, I would just remain calm. And I remember the nurses were like, oh, she's so nice, she's so, she doesn't complain, not like the other children that they are so whiny, but I was afraid, but I just, I had to be right with candy. As a kid, I was happy to experience needles for the first time. I enjoyed going to the doctor. Oh, that's cool. I think that going to the doctor, it's an experience that yeah, that I think that if we would have maybe more access or more education about it, we would start seeing it as a positive experience and not being afraid of it. That is like a place that you go to feel better or to get an answer, to get a solution. But for me, I don't know, because I was inside the hospital for 30 days. I think that I just wanted to get out. The hospital smell, the smell of the hospital, it triggers, a memory of me being there and not being able to, in wanting to go home. I was lucky that I had um, because my dad had a good insurance back then. He was working very well. So, I had the possibility to have a room for myself. I was very, very well taken care of. Um, so I cannot say like, oh, I felt uncomfortable. There were other people, other children. I don't know. It was just me and my mom because my mom would stay with me. But 30 days, it's a lot. I swear the time doesn't pass in there. Doesn't pass. And the hospital food is awful. I used to donate blood. Yeah, I also got, I think I admire so much people that donate blood because I got blood in a blood, how do you say the transfusion? I got a blood transfusion as well. So I appreciate so much people that donate blood. My dad donates blood too. Medicine at 23, several nurses have told me, have to hold me. Oh, the smell is so disgusting. Yes, yes. I yeah, transfusion. Uh, no, my blood. I wouldn't donate my blood to anyone because it's useless. It's useless, guys. I don't have any nutrients in my blood, so I don't know, guys. I'm A. I'm A positive. Very common, they said. when they said what kind of what blood type am I, and I got an A, everyone were like, oh, that's very common. Everyone is an A. Almost everyone is an A positive. Mm, mm-hmm. Blood type B is rarer in Europe but common in Asia, I believe. In my country, O is the more common. I know in East Asia countries it's A. Yeah, I'm the most current one. Yeah, the common one. My blood is really common. It's not that complex. Thank God, because everything in my life is so complex. So having a blood type that is not that, you know. In Europe, it's like 40% O and 30% A. The rest is B, AB, and the minus one. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you know who I have on my list. For today, it's Cancer idols and artists. I have Taemin. I have a son of ATs, Choi San. I have a Kentaro Sakaguchi, the actor. I have this that I believe Chatalino was the one that mentioned of this group. Is it pronounced XLOV? The group XLOV Wutumi? Yeah, Wutumi, I believe is or Wotomi. I think it's Wutumi. XLOV. Well, yeah. And then I'm going to read for Katseye Daniela and Katseye Manon, Illit Wonhee, and Enhypen Sunoo, and Go Eun, the actress. Wumuti. 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 Just sometimes I cannot understand my own handwriting. This is what annoys me the most. That is so difficult to understand myself. I have been a fan of Daniela for 10 years. It's so crazy to see her as an idol. Oh, wow. Yeah, hey, Vanessa Pro. I don't know if I said hi. I believe I did. I believe I said hello, but just in case I got the conversation. Hello again. Uh, thank you. My nose. The thing with my nose is that is 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 nice. My nose is nice on the side. if you look at it on the side, it has like a is harmonious. The thing that if I look at like in front is like the huge holes. Is like if it would be like he like this, I would be I don't know, it would look weird. But I think that the holes are very wide for the how small my nose is. But yeah, I know that probably a lot of surgeons would would want to have the bridge of my nose because actually it's very you see it's very like it's very like but it's white in here. It's white. Mm. Yeah, for me, I'm like I'm a bit paranoid about, about like this because I remember when I was young, my mom would traumatize me with I how do you say it? With it's not mucus. It's how do you say mucus? Like there's a thing that you get out of the nose. I remember my mom would like be really like obsessive with like you have to blow your nose and you have to blow your nose very well and she would do it in the streets. I remember she would do it in the streets, and she would like, "You have to blow your nose, and you have to blow harder, and always wipe your nose." And she would be. This is very mean, actually. She would be like, "You have to." She would make fun of me, because like, oh, you have, this so wide that if you have like mucus or something, everyone is going to see it, and I would be like terrified of like, oh, what if I have mucus in here and I don't know and everyone can see it and it's like because these are so wide that you can see if I but she would be so obsessive about like blow your nose and blow your when moms are like blow your nose well like really like put the effort and I would be blowing but sometimes when you have your nose stuck and you do the effort but it doesn't come out um and she would make fun of me for that and I would be scared for my life like what about if I have something in my nose and no one tells me and they make fun of me. Oh. Mm. The thing that for me, I notice in K dramas, um, I cannot watch a K drama where the actor, the nose doesn't move. And for me it's because of this, but I don't know if it's their nose or if it's the contour, the contouring that they do with makeup to the nose. But they like I know that they paint it here, they do like this to make it like a straight line, uh, but it looks so like that so fixed in there, like it doesn't move and it's so there that for me it's like your nose doesn't move. It looks so superficial. I cannot, those guys that are supposed to be very like the standard of beauty. And I look at how the bridge of their nose, like of course that is not that it doesn't move. The nose doesn't move, but it's it's like it doesn't go with the rest of the face. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's there. The nose is like there, and I find it so distracting. I'm like, I cannot watch it. For me, actually, I noticed, for example, my bias, Utah, I noticed he had like certain things done. He had a lot of things done to his Facebook. And I noticed that they did the same for Shotaro. For Shotaro, they did the same, even though Shotaro is beautiful, but they also did something to his jaw. Awful what they did. And and for Utah, not only the nose, but I do also noticed that I don't know if it's fillers that they did to his lips, to the upper part, this to his lips. So sometimes when he talks, it depends, especially when he's wearing a lot of makeup. This part is like it is like this. Is but it's not like oh it is no. It's like this part. They did something to lift this part of his lips, and it looks so so obvious that that's not his mouth, that that's not like, and I know that there's a lot of actresses also that they have this thing when they touch their lips, the upper lips like this, and they do like this thing. It's so weird because you're like, I know your lips are not like that. um oh, the problem with the nose job like that, it will destroy your face harmony. If your nose is suddenly not that wide anymore, the distance between your eyes will look different. Yeah, yeah, and it looks unnatural and not harmonious with the rest of the face. Plus, do many have some? Yeah, you start see a pattern for me. Because now that I recognize those procedures on certain faces, I'm like, that person has something done. Some of the nose jobs are horrible in the Korean entertainment industry, yes. Or when you can see the edges of the implant on the teeth. Oh, yeah, Yuta's face is so sad. Yes. His chin. I don't find faces that went through too much resonance. These poor people having as teens is gonna be. Yes, yeah. The drop shape is one of the worst procedures. Yes, because then you it's so weird because then when they do the procedure of the face, right? The V face. Then when they go on diets, definitely, so their neck becomes like very thin, very thin. But at the same time, it's like the neck is too long. Like they look weird. They have like tiny heads, or like this small space, and the neck, it looks like it had been attached. The neck is not, it's not compatible. It's not compatible. For me, one actor that I just cannot look at him and I'm like, I think that he could also be a bit of anorexic, and I look at him, and also he made a K drama about him not being able to eat any kind of food. He had to eat from a specific woman or place. It was homemade meat. What is the name of this actor? He was on Hospital Playlist, and he is the boyfriend of a Girls' Generation. Is it Soyeon? Girls' Generation Soyeon? Um, I don't remember his name. Um, I believe it's Jung Kyung Ho. He was in um, Crash Course in Romance. Crash Course in Romance, where he had to eat. like he wasn't eating because he couldn't eat, and then when he met this woman that she single mother that she owned a restaurant, her recipes and the way she cooks, it was like, oh, I have to eat this because it reminds me of the food. um yeah, I believe his name is Jung Kyun Ho. Jung Kyun Ho. Mm. Yeah, Momo's nose, it's, yeah, beautiful. But also, like, the small head is looking a bit odd, because then these people either they gain weight, not gain weight, because it's not, I don't think that they allow themselves to gain weight. But for example, when it comes to Song Kang, he was in the military. He gained some muscles. He's definitely bigger. I mean, he never was like skinny. The guy works out, but he's bigger now. And you see his head, and you're like, what? You you know, like it. What is going on visually? Like I'm like, um. And for actors, for me, once you start getting into a certain age, um, even if your face is amazing and your hair is beautiful, and like you have the tiny head, but you look weird. Like there's something that is not natural. It's and it's weird. I think that when you are in your 20s, this is why I'm like, sometimes when I look at these idols that they have these baby faces, I'm like, what is it going to be of you and that face in 11 years from now? Because you're going to be 40 or 6 or 50 with that same baby face. And because the baby face, like the baby attributes, you're supposed to lose it at some point in your life. You can be very baby faced, beautiful, but when you are a child or when you are a teenager, even when you are about to be a teenager, your whole faces change. Um, but you're not supposed to look like a child when you are about to be, 30. It looks like, so sometimes I think that they are so fixated on the baby looking that I'm like, that's not going to age well. It's going to look really challenging once you start getting older. So if you don't want to get bullied, you better not be in the industry. Mm. Yes, he was in Prison Playbook. Yeah, the problem that if they get very skinny, their heads look giant. Yes, unnatural proportion. They want to look like anime characters, but on real, human is just weird. Like those big ass shoes to make their legs look longer. Yeah, you're supposed to lose your baby fat in your 20s. Mm, yes. Yeah, there's people that don't even. But you know what's funny for me? I'm like, they definitely, uh, like, I understand that is they do it because it's their job, but I think that is so unrealistic. Because for me, for example, I had I had worked in the beauty industry. I had jobs, where, it's not about you not being you, but if you are attractive, or if you are skinny, or if you are, you know, harmonious in some way, it doesn't, you probably have to be white. This also happens in my country. I have there's a lot of white people, but there's brown people because, I exist. Uh, and, and and the job market is very competitive. So but I think that for me, I never had to change my looks. I just had to maybe take care of my hair, or wear makeup, wear nice perfume, knowing the accessories and all those things. So I know it's a industry that is all based on appearances. This is why now that I'm in my 40s, probably I'm not the target for them. They wanted me when I was 20, when I was 30 tops, because I always look younger. So, but now that I'm 40, they're like, oh, we actually want like younger girls. And that's okay also. But I noticed that I had people, like, for example, come to me and be like, oh, I love your hair, like, and I will be like, yeah, I wear this shampoo and I use this shampoo with this other shampoo, so you should get it for yourself because, it's a really good brand. And actually, the real the truth is that I have this hair because of genetics. And also, this is not my real, this is my hair, but I have curly hair. I have straightened my hair, because it's more, it's easier to wear. But I always had a lot of hair, always. Like, I always had long hair with wavy curls. I always had a lot of hair. So, and I had to sell this, to maybe a woman that she would be, struggling with her hair and losing hair, and not being very happy with their hair. And they would look at me as a representation of, like, oh, well, if she has her hair like this, is because the products must be nice, or the products must be efficient. And probably for me, I would use a cheap brand and they would leave my hair shining. And this, very expensive brand, it wouldn't do anything to me. To me, I wouldn't notice the difference. So, but I do have to stand by the product and support, or promote what I'm selling. And I think that for idols is the same. You are selling that, that they are this beautiful, that they, yeah, I take my vitamins and I work out, and I do the skincare. Even the guys, they do the skincare, the skincare. Their hair, the hair is beautiful. They are always skinny, they're always, but there's a lot of modification behind the scenes, um, of what they are. They look like this. This is why sometimes when I look at people that they do this zoom in, they do this zoom in on what the idols wear. For example, cosmetics, or different brands of skincare or shampoos, and they're like, oh, because I don't know, Felix is using this shampoo, so I'm going to Google it and I'm going to get it for myself. But you don't know if Felix uses the shampoo, because actually, like, they go to a hair salon. They have other people do their hair. So and everything is product placement with them. So sometimes when you see things around them, it's because they want you to see it. They want you to notice it. So I would be careful of that as well. But honestly, anything that is with appearance, it doesn't last that long, guys, because I think that for the beauty industry, age age is a huge threat. When you get older, it's like, no, no, you don't represent our values. You don't represent our values. Um, um, I had there was a time where I used to work for a very famous cosmetic brand that they had this very promoted. It was worldwide. It was very promoted eye mascara, and then I don't know what happened, but there was like an amount of that product that they had. I don't know what was it about them, if they had a defect, that we had to take all of those products out because it would create certain problems in people's eyes. So, you know, I sometimes I'm like, this is when you guys ask me like, okay, what eye mascara do you wear, or what makeup are you wearing? For me, the more makeup I wear, um, the the most problems I have later in my face. So I try to stay minimal with the makeup. I don't know if it's age, or if it's because of my poor immune system. Um, um, I have to be very picky about the things I wear. Also, I have eczema in some parts, so especially when it gets cold, or when I take a shower and it's very hot, because I get very cold, so I usually take hot showers, and you're not supposed to take hot showers. And I have been gifted, a lot of beautiful brands of shower heads and everything, with beautiful perfumes and everything. And you know what I end up using? The baby, the baby's you know, shower gel, or the soap that is for babies, because my skin is so sensitive that I just cannot, have something that has a lot of a strong scent, even though I love it, because I love perfumes. But I'm allergic, so I have to be picky. And also, you having the specific skin treatment is expensive also. But I prefer to invest in, something that is not going to get me a rash, instead of smelling amazing and then, having a lot of, wounds on my body. Hey, Hope. Yes. The whole white brown discussion in Europe, most people tan, because actually here like people with money, people that are millionaires, they are very tanned. They get, of course, tanned in a very superficial way, or they play tennis, they play golf, they do a lot of outdoors expensive sports. So, here in Argentina, for you, like people that are golden in skin, and they are very much into self tanning, all these things to tan themselves, the creams, the creams to tan their skin. They are fans of that. But yeah, and don't tell them. I remember I had a client that she was like damaging her skin. I was like, you have to wear like more sun protector, and she was like, no, because I love my skin glowing like this. I've always been outdoors, so okay. I was okay. But yeah, here people with money are very tan. Oh, and the straight hair, no wonder why my dad thought he was Mr. Universe weird. Yes, there are certain jobs that require experience. But what's frustrating is that they are selective, objectively less beautiful after sex. Yes, yes. Some of them are more pretty, but they miss the point of stopping. Yeah, when they don't stop, is And I don't have anyone that is like, maybe you are doing a bit much. Oh, I did see it. The 17 thirst tweets, yes. Yeah, exactly. It's not age. My mom is 55 and she sleeps with makeup. Yeah, and nothing happens to a woman. Yeah, mm, yeah, I know that. This is why sometimes when I like people are like, no, you double cleans. You have to cleanse. There's people that sleep with makeup on. I have eczema on my hands, but I still use hot water. Terrible, I know, but I moisture afterward. Ah, okay. Ah, okay. I had been having actually a lot of like a bit of allergic reaction to Kali's hair, and I'm like working on that, but she will have to sleep with my dad because I swear, like I start scratching when I'm near her, and I love her, but I don't know, I'm starting to get all itchy. Jojoba oil changed my life when it comes to skincare. You won't get me to use sunscreen, terrible, but I can't stand the feeling. Yeah, for me, because I have mixed skin, I have a bit of oily and dry skin. So I use the ones that are in the format of gel, that they are for mixed skin. And for me, those are the lightest to put on my face. Yeah, because then there are some that are very heavy to apply. But the ones that are like more gel based, those I use. But honestly, I don't I try not to be so much in the sun because of lupus. I cannot be in the sun, honestly. So and usually I'm working inside, so I think I'm okay, but you know, Beauty Aqua Gel sunscreen is the skin is too sensitive and I couldn't have makeup on without cleansing, without breaking out. Oh, my eyes hurt too bad with creams and sunscreen. Oh, wow. Yeah, for me, I don't have problems in my face except, when my period is soon to come, then I get maybe, a one or two. Um, but I think that the times that I had to use a lot of makeup or I had to, yeah, apply creams or, just test them and apply it to myself, I would get very bad breaks. On my skin. I will get a very, like, I would notice my skin and also my hair very oily, very, like, it seemed like dirty because of the amount of products that I was applying. It's like my skin probably prefers, just let it be. Don't put so much on the face. Yeah, you can, hydrate a bit, but don't put too much. Like for me, makeup, um, because actually, in my case, in my experience, I noticed that for me, when I wear less makeup, it's like my face is okay, like my features are okay. Yeah, my eyebrows are because I'm a millennial, so I did chop my eyebrows and they don't grow back. So I have very thin eyebrows because I did got rid of them in the 2000s and they didn't come back. Um, so, but the more, like, I think that the less I put on in my face, I don't need it. I understand that maybe there's people that maybe they do have something in their skin or maybe um, their under eyes, or there's something that they're like, I have to cover this. For me, it's like, yeah, I do have some lines of expression, you do see it, but I'm like, I'm not going to put like 2 pounds of, concealer to try to hide it. I'm glad you start taking care of your skin. I should probably start. So yeah, and also there's something that, in my case, since I've always had this very sensitive skin, because when I was a child, I remember I would scratch my legs, because they would be very itchy. And I don't know, maybe it's because they were dry, but I would hurt myself, like I would make myself bleed. And also I wouldn't stop, I would scratch because it was itching. And I don't know if my skin was too sensitive, that I would make it bleed. And then I would have those very, like, very giant marks, or, I don't know how you call it, but it's like um, when your skin is recovering, that it has like those tiny brown things on top of this. And I would have a lot of that, and I wouldn't be able to recover. But and maybe it was that I was nervous as well. Maybe I was a nervous child, so my skin would suffer and I would start scratching because I was nervous. um but I discovered that, because I remember everyone were like, no, we have to test, to see what kind of skin do you have. And my remedy, honestly, was using baby baby stuff, like baby, baby oil, because they're all like not allergic. They are non-allergic. So I would actually have a better result using, soap for babies, even shampoo for babies. So you're really hurting your eyebrows. I had thick eyebrows. I had thick eyebrows. I had thick, but very well shaped. But I was Frida Kahlo. I was Frida Kahlo's um, familiar. I was a familiar, family of hers, definitely, because I've always said, I don't know if it's because I was premature, and I have extra hair. If you see it, I have extra hair that it never fell, it never fell. These are like extra hair that I have. But I had like not giant. I wouldn't say like my eyebrows were like, oh my God, is your eyebrows are too thick. But I wanted thin eyebrows because in the 2000s, everyone wore thin eyebrows, and I remember my mom had very thin eyebrows, so I wanted her eyebrows, because having thick eyebrows, it wasn't look good. So now that I see that everyone is going back to the thick eyebrows, I'm like, oh my. I would have been very popular if I had mine. Not having to trim that, not draw it, not I would just use them like this and would be beautiful. Um, yes, baby products are great because they don't have fragrances or harsh chemicals. I get Frida eyebrows. I get Frida Kahlo's eyebrows too. I don't tame them. I'm Frida Kahlo. Even my mom told me, so I pull them out because but they come back. Thank God when they come back. For me, it didn't. I'm embracing the airy stereotype with thick eyebrows. Yeah, I even had a bit here, like it wouldn't be noticeable, but I would have a bit, that would, unite the both. The unibrow. And also the Korean industry would hate on me, but I always had the V shape on my. Now I'm chubbier now and I'm older, but I always had the V shape, always. Like I always had a very, V shaped structure in my face, and I didn't have to get any procedures done to get it. But yeah, now with time, age, and a few extra pounds, I do have, a bit of loose of, but I, Korean society, in their standards, they would hate me. Um, except that, of course, I will have to bleach my skin because, I'm brown, and they don't play with that. The original visual. Ah, it's like, move, get out. Uh, and you can watch all my childhood pictures, show them that I look the same. Like I've always been like this. Except that I was Frida Kahlo. I had a lot of hairy eyebrows. Very hairy, a lot of hair. Oh, a lot of hair. My face is round. But round faces. This is something that also I personally notice, that I'm like, it's okay when you have extra pounds, or when that they have something about the oh, your face is bloated, oh no, like your face looks a bit, oh, I didn't eat last night because I wanted to wake up, and my face not being that bloated. But actually, I noticed that people that have rounded faces, or that they have a bit of, extra, extra, in their faces, they look healthier and they look more beautiful. When you are too skinny, when you are too, like, it looks like a bit of skeleton in your face, you look older. You look older. You do. That's why sometimes I'm like, yeah, I wish I could lose a few of the extra pounds that I have. But at the same time, I've seen people going into, very harsh diets. People that, well, they needed to lose weight because of health issues and everything. Um, but they lost the weight, but they also lost the spark. I don't know how to say this, but they don't look that beautiful. They lost it. I don't know. I think that, yeah, you're skinny, but you don't look like yourself. I don't know if you ever noticed, like, some maybe famous people that used to be like a bit more rounded or a bit more chubby, and they lose weight, and you're like, I kind of like you more when you were, because they look different. They look, for me, rounded, is more healthy. Yeah, fat gives you energy and youthfulness. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Dania. You said it that because of the shape of your face. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's not about pants. For you, it's the shape of your face. But that's why round faces usually gives more youthful than, the ones that are very sharp. The ones that are very sharp, they give old, or they look older, or they look more, not so friendly. Round faces actually are cute. Yes, people lose their spark when they lose too much weight. Yeah, it's like, it's okay to lose it, to have a regime, or to have, like, you're like, okay, I do I haven't been working out. I have been eating not very good food. I haven't been taking care of myself. Okay, I will put myself, you know, not on a diet, but I will start, working out. I will take care of myself, but not to the point of starving yourself. That's, yeah. Don't look like a skeleton. This is what I want to say because it shows. It shows. Um, there's people that they are so fixated with losing weight, counting calories, and all of those things that you look at them and they are so unhappy. You see it in their eyes. You see it in their eyes. And I'm like, for me, I have to take care of myself because my organs are always in danger because of my immune system. So for example, I have to watch out. I cannot consume too much soda. I cannot consume too much alcohol because, my liver, my stomach, they are in there, but they are like, watch for what you consume. We are fragile. So I already have kidney stones. So, um, so for me, it's like, it's not about like, oh, no, because I'm watching my weight, and no, because I have thyroid. So it doesn't matter what I eat and what I don't eat. I'm chubby anyways. Um, but if I would get fixated on, oh, no, 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 this I don't, it's like, no, because, and also it's interesting because sometimes people that maybe they go on these diets, they sometimes, because they see results and they want to lecture other people like, oh, this that you're eating is not healthy, or you shouldn't be eating that, because that has too much sugar. And I know people know that what they're consuming may not be, the healthiest, but they love it. It's yummy, it's delicious, and they want to have it. Them. Let them. Mm, yes, it's like, let them. You know for me, I have to restrict myself, and sometimes people are like, oh, but why don't you eat, dairies, or are you on a diet? And I'm like, no, I choose, there's certain things that I notice that they don't make me feel good inside, so I try to avoid it. Sometimes when I'm in social gatherings, I try to be, to blend with everyone, because I cannot be. The only thing that I always tell people is that I cannot consume dairy products because I'm intolerant. So if you give me something with cheese, I cannot eat it. If you give me something with cream, I cannot eat it. But because of everything else, I try to be like, okay, you want to give me soda, or another beverage, even I know it's not good for me, but I'm like, okay, today I'm going to drink with everyone, because I already I have a lot of list of don'ts. So, to not spoil, because I sort of feel bad, when people are like, oh, all right, you cannot eat this, right? So yeah, we have to get you something else. And when they start like this, I feel a bit guilty, and I'm like, no, it's okay. For example, like birthday cakes at birthdays, I cannot have them. I never could, actually. The only one that I would be able to eat is what my mom used to make for me, a very plain, cake. Um, but when it comes to going to other people's birthdays, I will always be like, no, thank you, I don't want cake. Um, but yeah, because I cannot eat cream. Okay, guys, I'm going to start because I'm ranting too much. Sorry, but yeah. I'm going to start with Taemin. You're allergic to eggs. Mm. Okay. For Taemin, let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see for Taemin. For the rest of 2025, and because it's his birthday, let's see. Six of Cups, Five of Wands, the Sun, the Hangman, Nine of Cups. And for the advice, we have the Two of Wands, that the keyword is domination. Domination. I think that yeah, this I mean at least for now, I think that Taemin is embracing um his whole self, his whole essence, I would say, because we have the sun in the middle. So for me, it's like, the solar return for Taemin. This maybe Cancer season is going to be very good for him, in the sense of like um, him expressing who he is, or maybe him being really happy with who he is, or who he has become. There's something about transparency, him shining very much. In the past few months, it had been challenging. He definitely has been having challenges um, with people from his past. I think that he things hasn't been easy for Taemin. He has to still, probably argue with a lot of people. There's a lot of opposition. There's a lot of disagreements. So he started 2025 feeling a bit annoyed. It seems like it was not easy to get on the same page. I believe that probably this has to do with Shiny and Shiny's activities. I don't think that it's him fighting the members, but I think that there's something about, him having arguments nowadays with people from his past. And maybe people from his past, it maybe has to do more with SM employees, or SM, um, him having to see them, or going back to their place, and still the arguments are not resolved. He feels very uncomfortable, he feels very triggered. um, and there's something about him, having to deal with this, with that sometimes, now that we think about Cancer idols, Cancer season, sometimes the Six of Cups, all about the home, the nostalgia, feeling nostalgic. Um, for him nowadays, looking back or going back to his past, it doesn't feel that nostalgic. He doesn't miss it at all. He doesn't miss it at all. It's just that every once in a while, he has to go back. He has to go back to his past. He has to go back. And I think that there's something about him not feeling happy about it. Him really, like, he's not on the same page as the others. There's disagreements. There's a lot of bad vibes. Also he feels that probably there's a lot of, passive aggressiveness towards him. No, I don't think that is towards him directly. It could be towards him and maybe Onu, them feeling like outsiders, And probably there's a bit of, like these people in the building that really make it difficult for him. They probably guilt trip him a lot. They are like, oh, remember when we give you this? Remember. So there's something about him not feeling comfortable going back. He's like, and and I think that I did say something about this when I believe I read for. Could it be that I read for Shiny or Shiny Comeback, or I don't know what I read about. But there was this also this very you know there was this tension, things are not okay, things are not okay, they are not on the same page. And I think that there's a lot of passive aggressiveness in the air, and he feels like there's certain attacks towards him. For example, if it's going to be his part, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some delays, there's going to be some interruptions. So he feels, he is in his feelings. He is a very observant and intuitive person. So he's like, oh, you done this on purpose. You done this on purpose. You messed this up because it was my turn or because it was me. So there's a lot of hostility. There's a lot of hostility, and he doesn't like it. This is why I think that maybe, for 2025, for him, it's better to focus on his individual work, because there's something about his individual work feeling like in there he has the control. In that environment, he can be himself and he can shine. And there's no one guilt tripping him about like, oh, we made you. You're this because we made you, or you have this independence because we made you. So I think that he's slowly like learning to have more self-esteem, to also be on his own, and just being proud of himself and not having to play small or to shrink, to please others. He really is shining very much. And I think that people really love Taemin. Like I think that there's something about him being like, this at least for 2025, you will not see me down or depressed, no. But definitely he's very much like there's something about him going back to group activities that it's not that he doesn't want to do things for the group or with the group, but when the brand of the group is being mentioned, there comes the people, attacking him and attacking you know, his decisions. There's something about them, making him feel small again, like you're nothing without us. Remember, we gave you all this. Remember, so I think that for him it's like going back to a toxic ex. Those people that instead of wishing you well on your new journey, they keep mentioning, um oh, we did this for you, remember? Oh, you had this because we made it possible. And when I say this, I don't mean the shiny members, I mean the company, the staff. They definitely have like an objective towards Taemin and maybe towards Onu. There's something about when it's their turn, something happens. And definitely Taemin has been very vocal about this, or he had shown that he's angry. Now not so much. Now he's like going back to himself. He's feeling like, okay, I feel celebrated for being me. I'm going back to being me, to working on myself. But for him, maybe thinking about going back to the group's activities, it feels tough. It feels tough because they definitely treat him differently. And he does, probably there's rumors or there's some people talking, and he's just annoyed. When you're like, but they are like this. These people are like this. Um, they don't accept that he left. That he decided to go for something else. They don't support his individuality. You know, it's like, no, you should have stayed with us because we treat you better. But no. Then we have the Handman and we have the Nine of Cups. So I think that I don't know why I feel there's something about him having to stop for a while. I don't know why. But I think that there's something about him surrendering to a maybe him voluntarily surrendering to a time of pause. Because he's feeling great, really. I think that he's like, you know, I'm feeling good about myself and what I have been doing. But there's something about him also stopping for a bit. I don't know if he's trying to prevent something from affecting him individually, or maybe spoiling his happiness, or spoiling his the good times, or you know how long he has come. Wow, all of a sudden it got darker in here. Where the clouds, where did the sun go? Taemin took it. Taemin took the sun. um so and at the end I think that it's going to be very favorable for him to sort of, you know, keep himself like distant from something, because we have the Nine of Cups. So I think that at the end he's like, you know, to avoid drama, I better take a pause, or he will not participate in certain things. Maybe he will remain silent, maybe, or he will just, you know, not be um you know I don't think that it's like MIA. I don't but there's something about him slowing down, because you know he has there's something that he wants to accomplish maybe by the end of the year that is individual, that I think that he's going to get it. He's going to show it to the fans, but he needs to, maybe there's something that he's like, you know, these moments are not okay for me to show up, so I will remain a bit, you know, a bit distant. People had seen enough of me. But I think that he's just so, his energy feels so vibrant, he feels so happy, he feels in control. He feels in control. He definitely, there's something about Taemin also, like, you know, this year connecting with his individuality and also his independency. So he's like, I'm proud to be me. Look how much I had accomplished for just being me. So he's definitely embracing, you know, being very positive about this image that he had built. It's just that I think that he probably wants to stop a bit, because maybe something is going on around him, not to him, because I don't see something affecting him particularly, but probably there's drama in the industry, or there's something going on, and he's like, I better stay away. And we have the Two of Wands as the last card that it says Dominion. Dominion. So, you know, he's someone that he has a plan. He has a plan for the future or for the next months. He definitely wants to launch, you know, maybe a stronger concept. He wants to dominate also. He wants to be number one, of course. But there's something about him like, let's take it slow. You know, he doesn't want to saturate people with his image. You know, he's like, I don't want to annoy people. You know, it's like watching me having a comeback every 2 days. Like, I don't want to be that artist. I want to take it slow. I'm winning. I'm doing very well. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling satisfied. I'm feeling happy with myself. But also, I need to slow down. You know, I need to review very well my next move or my next plan. But definitely, Taemin is very competitive. With the card of Dominion, he definitely has like a plan, and his plan is to keep advancing and to be the best. So, yeah. Hmm. isn't there a drama with his company? Oh, I don't know. Maybe, but he's above all like he's elsewhere. You know, his energy feels like yeah. I keep shining. I keep focusing on myself. He feels positive about what he shows. You know, the sun card is like, you know, I try my best every day to be a better version of myself, to make my fans proud, to go out and shine. Even when, you know, things get difficult, even when there's disagreements, I always show. I want my people to see me smile, to see me shine, to see me being the best. I think that Taemin is really good at regulating, because he also could be, you know, like super, you know, like I said, super ambitious. I mean, like, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to, you know, launch something right now. And he's like, no, wait, let's observe. Okay. How are we doing? Okay. Is there drama? You know, and you probably will not catch him saying something, or, you know, taking sides, or just, you know, he also, there's something with the handman about him also just like not wanting to know. It's like, I'm sorry if I'm egotistic, but, you know, I'm focusing on myself. I have done the job. I have been really good at it. And I expect to be even better at this. So no one is going to spoil this for me. But probably, you know, him sort of taking a time out, or maybe stopping a bit, is because he also wants to be fair to other, you know, situations, or other groups that maybe are debuting, or there's something going on in the industry. So he's like, I will give, you know, the younger generations, or, you know, these other artists, I will give them their time. I will take a moment, and then I will come back. I think that he's going to win something, Hope. If there's something about, yeah, like fighting in court for the hate comments towards Taemin, I think that there's a possibility that he could win, because I have the Nine of Cups. So he's waiting. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait, because he's going to come out victorious. He's going to get, you know, a very satisfying result without having to do much except wait. So, yeah, he doesn't want to oversaturate, you know, the audience with, because he knows, you know, with the sun in the middle, he's like, I know I'm a star. I know I draw attention to myself. So, you know, let's wait a bit. You know, let's take a time. You know, I don't need to be all the time, you know, like active, like all the time pursuing attention, you know, and people talking about me. Like, he's not like that. You know, he's very strategic at like this. And also, he doesn't want to, you know, wear people out. You know, he doesn't want people to get bored of him. So he's like, I better take a break. Um, but it's voluntarily, you know, nothing wrong is going on. No. Yeah, no one can touch his level. No, he's not worried at all. And also, the anger that maybe he felt a couple months ago is already gone. But it was heavy. If he's showing it to me, it's because the treatment was awful. To get Taemin like really like angry, something was going on, definitely. Okay, I'm going to continue with San, Choi San, 80 San. Let's see. for the rest of 2025, now that we are in his season, Cancer season. Okay, for Sun, Five of Swords, the Emperor. I'm going to turn on the lights here, guys, because I think that it's getting like this. Because it's getting darker. I don't know what's bad about the sun, because the sun is out, but you know, it comes and goes. So yeah, let's see. Um, okay, Sun, again, Five of Swords, the Emperor, Seven of Cups in the middle, the Hermit, Six of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. The keyword in here is says failure. So I was like, interesting. Interesting. Hmm. It's not like, oh, is negative, but I'm like, it's also, I find it interesting that they say the Seven of Pentacles in this deck, that is the keyword is failure, but it makes sense because this system is the toss system, is not the Rider-Waite system. And this card, the Seven of Pentacles, would be represented as the energy of Saturn in Taurus. This is why it says, it says failure, because somehow, something that should be reaping or something that should be growing and expanding is not, is a bit stuck in the seven. So this is why it maybe, the keyword is failure. It's not to be dramatic, but yeah. Like I always say, when I see the Seven of Pentacles, like something is green still, something is green still. I mean, I think that Sun, he's definitely he's growing and expanding. Probably 2025 has been a very good year about him asserting a sort of dominion on the audience, or maybe, him gaining more popularity. But also with the Five of Swords and the Emperor, it's giving me that, could it be that he from time to time feels like people make fun of his ability to be this dominant, or maybe to wanting to be like the emperor, or wanting to come on strong. That Sun, usually when he's on stage, he's someone that he has a strong energy, he's very masculine. So I think that there's something about him, maybe in 2025 he feels like the protagonist. He feels very strong. He feels like, like I matter. But somehow he also feels like he has to defend himself from other people's comments, probably because the Five of Swords is giving me like, oh, you said this about me. So yeah, I didn't like what you said of me. Like, you are questioning my authority, or you are questioning my ability to be like the protagonist. Probably there's something about Sun this year feeling like the emperor. When you feel proud, when you're like, I actually, like, I did this on my own, and I got really good feedback. People really want to see me, so I feel like the emperor. I feel very like I'm winning territory here. I'm a lot of people's favorite. So I feel like the more important, or the more like, authoritarian I appear, the more people love it. So maybe when it comes to maybe the other members, because I say people, but it could be differences among the members as well. Then probably not attacking Sun, but Sun seeing it like, oh, you are attacking or you are making fun of this that I'm doing that actually is giving me good results, because people want to see me like the emperor. People really love this of me. So let me have my moment. Let me be the protagonist. I don't care if you guys think that is funny. There's and I think that this comes from before. This is why we have it sort of in the past. I don't know if maybe it's like the members or it's like the fans even making fun of Sun's main character energy. Maybe he can be a bit much. Maybe he can be a bit dominant or possessive, and there could be some inside jokes or people just. It doesn't have to be that deep, but for him it's like, are you making fun of me? Because it's working for me. It's working for me. I'm going places with this attitude. People really think that I'm an emperor. So, and it probably is part of his performance or is part of him being a sort of actor. But he's like, I actually could be a great actor. So I will do this more often because maybe in the future, I would get calls or I would get hired to be an actor. So he's like getting into this main character. It's giving me Leo energy. I don't know why. I know he's not a Leo. I know he's a Cancer man, but it's giving me that he started the year feeling like a champion. Like, I'm the ruler. I'm the ruler of the universe. People want to see me. People want to see me being sexy, tough, being dominant. They love it, and I will give them this. I will get into this character, and I will dominate them all. And maybe there's something about him always being considered like, we think that you're doing a bit much, even the way he dressed, probably like he dresses like an emperor or he dresses like a king or something. But it's working, it's giving him people's attention. And there's a bit of, I don't know if the others are like, you always do this, you always try to steal the spotlight, you always are a bit exaggerated. And he's like, but the audience loves it, they love me, so let me be. Something like this. Just it's cute actually, but yeah. And in the middle we have the Seven of Cups. So I'm like, the Seven of Cups is giving me the Lulu energy. It's giving me Pisces energy. Like he really has this grandiose image of himself. Um, and it's funny because probably he has a lot of options. He has a lot of invitations. Maybe there's people being like, we want you here, or we want you to do this with us. No, you come here. Like, let's join our club. San, we want you here. We want you to be part of our cast. We want to see you again. Like, come on, do this with us. So it's all about San, not so much the group. It's all about San's growth, this year. And he's feeling tempted. There's something about him being like, wow, I'm getting calls from a lot of places. Look at all this. I have all these options. So there's something about him feeling like this year is good. This year is, I wouldn't say it's prosperous, but there's something about attention. There's something about they make me feel important. They make me feel like my shoulders are wider. My shoulders are wide. My posture has changed. I walk with my heads up, like this, because, and I have to protect this because it's making me feel good. The thing is that this is why I say that is the Lulu. It's not because I don't think that people lie to him when they invite him to do things and stuff, but there's something about 2025 that, yeah, maybe Sun will get a lot of exposure and options and invitations, but probably when it comes to maybe the group, like him going back to reality, when you go back to your reality after you had an amazing time, in an event, or you were surrounded by very successful people and you mingle in with them and everything is cool and everything is fancy, and then you go back to your reality. And his reality is that probably he has a lot of, reflection to do. I don't know if it's about their contract or if it's about, a new phase in his life. Um, but I think that he will take a time also to reflect about, okay, his reality maybe with the group is not that glamorous or that special as, as the how Sam feels when the cameras are on or when the party starts. There's a bit of escapism in this. This is why we have the Seven of Cups in the middle, because there's a bit of like, yeah, everything is shiny, everything is a possibility, everyone is inviting new places, everything is possible, but at the end, you know, it is is it doesn't reflect on his maybe on his bank account or on his on his achievements, or there's a lot of silence afterwards. There's a lot of emptiness afterwards. There's a lot of introspection that he has to do because he seems to get drunk by the attention that he's getting, but then when he goes back to reality, things are very solitary. Things are very solitary for him, and they will continue to be like this. So, and also the Six of Pentacles is sort of also advising him, regulate your efforts. Regulate your efforts. Don't give too much. Don't do a lot. This is not about him not being himself, but it's like regulate, because maybe times in the future, you guys, maybe this is him in the group, that they will have to review what, or study, or reflect on what they want to do next, because somehow they have to be smarter about what they're going to do next, because I don't see success. I don't see like I could see, popularity, flashing lights, and this is very distracting, and it makes him feel good. But there's always also, like, when things come down, there's this void, there's this silence, there's this loneliness, and then there's this, like, yeah, you gave it all, you participated, you gave your energy, you gave your presence, but then you guys have to go back to work again. And it's again that you guys have to maybe remember that you have a contract, remember that you maybe will not get all the opportunities, that you have to be more modest about the way you spend your money, that you have to get to an agreement. Okay, like, we want this, but then you will not give us this. So we have to sort of, negotiate. We have to regulate ourselves. We have to calm down. We have to get more serious. We have to talk about numbers. So then, everything is effort again, and everything is planning, organizing, like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It's not like the path in the near future for 80s or for Sun is like open. If I had an Ace of Pentacles in here, I would be like, yeah, they will give Sun whatever he asks. They will give Sun all the opportunities, they will give Sun all the resources, but in here there's, like, again, going back to asking this, and also getting realistic about, like, okay, no, we cannot have this because there's no money, or we cannot do this because we don't have the permission. So it goes back to be something mechanic, to be something that they have to think a lot about, and it's boring also. It sort of also lowers his desire. He's like, oh, this part of the business I don't like, but yeah, probably the numbers also are not very well. So but yeah, this is why we have the Seven of Pentacles also with the keyword of failure. It seems like maybe, the efforts that he's going to put this year, it feels like it's not enough. It feels like there's this monotony, or there's this like, yeah, you done great, but you could have given more, or you could have earned more. So probably it's about them, going back to the studio, or going back to practice, or going back to think a new strategy. This is why sometimes when I read for ATs, I get this sense of duty that they have, that is like, if we don't go back to work or to start a new strategy, we don't succeed. We don't keep ourselves alive in this very competitive industry. So there's something about them, yeah, people maybe think that their lives are so, extravagant and are so luxurious, but actually no, once the music is off, and the lights are off, and everyone is gone home, they are back to think about their solitude, and to think and negotiate and ask for favors and ask for opinions. So it's all about, that for maybe for 80s, for San, there's always a moment of like, yeah, the party was nice, the whole experience was really cool, I had fun. Now I have to go back to this very sad even part of going back to work, that it feels very, very monotone, it feels very boring, it feels so unmotivating, but their careers are like this for now. Yeah, exactly, Chartalino. It sounds like going back to work after a great vacation. Yeah. This is why he feels like somehow it's like, don't rain on my parade. Like, I'm having fun. Let me dream with the Seven of Cups. Let me dream. Let me daydream that I actually am this famous, or that, I am this amazing. Let me. I know then later I will have to go back to my responsibility. So please let me enjoy this while it lasts. Let me stay in the clouds, please. Hope, did you see the picture of Mino taking the EXO members, taking them to run with him? Oh, and I think that it was Chanmin, was it Chanmin of Juno, or Juno of TVSQ, or did I read wrong? Okay, I'm going to read for Kentaro Sakaguchi, the actor, Japanese actor. Kentaro Sakaguchi. Okay. Okay, for him we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the King of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands in the middle, the Empress, the World card, and then we have the Fool. Um, it's very interesting. Because he got the World, and definitely look at this Fool. Look at this Fool card. It's a baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. It's a newborn. Actually, I was thinking, I was like, is this the moon card? No, it's the world card. So I see it like, I'm like, the world and the fool, both of them are naked. So I'm like, it's very interesting. Um, but another guy, another cancer man that has he had an issue with a co-star or something like this? Maybe is a co-star or um is like an ex-girlfriend or people that he worked with before, because there's two people, there's this Queen of Pentacles as this King of Swords, so he had something with these people that maybe there was tension or there was a lot of ego and it wasn't easy for him to work with these people. um very cutthroat, very cold. And in the middle we have the Seven of Wands. So he's defending himself from something now. So maybe something happened with these two people, with this Queen of Pentacles and this King of Swords. Maybe there's some disagreements or something happened. But yeah, I think that I don't know if he being criticized by the media or by the public, or are people somehow against him? I don't know. I think that this is like the keyword of the year for him. Somehow like defend your posture, defend your mind, defend your beliefs. Whatever you said is what you meant. So I wonder if he said something. I don't see cards of conversation, but I'm like, did he offended someone by his saying? Because there's something very unexpected of him, like somehow very like, when you come running and you're like, oh, what did I do, what happened, like I have no idea, I just came here, like what did I do? um he's very clueless about things, at least in this year it feels very clueless. It feels like maybe it's also part of his charm that he's someone that he's a bit um, he's someone that when you see him, he's very spontaneous, but sometimes he appears unprepared. He's so spontaneous that maybe there's something about him leaving things to luck. The person that is like, well, yeah, I'm late, but at least I made it. I'm here now. So yeah, everything is cool. So there's something about him, maybe not a lot of people like to work with him because he is a bit like um also is giving me like he can be a bit egotistic also, like in his main character energy, him being the protagonist and being like, oh, you all were waiting for me, were waiting, you were waiting, did I make you wait? Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, I had problems, but oh, I forgot. He seems very forgetful, a very forgetful person. Like he's like, oh, but it's really from a very authentic. It's making me laugh, and it's really it's hilarious because these two people are actually very serious. They are very serious. They don't think that it is funny, but he seems very childlike. So this is why it's making me laugh. So I don't know. I think that he will have to defend himself or stand his ground, or maybe saying his part. I mean, like well, yeah, I did this, but well, I didn't mean to cause any harm, and I don't know. I don't know him that much, so I don't know. But he seems to be, defending his putting effort to defend himself. Um, but then we have the Empress and we have the World card. So he's a very charming person. He's a very charming man, this actor, Kentaro Sakaguchi. He's very and he's also like he also brings luck to the projects that he's in. So and there's something about him being beautiful or him looking more beautiful this year. And with the World card, I'm like, he could actually get more opportunities outside his land. his motherland. Maybe, him working overseas, him working with international staff or crew of people, even with actors that speak different languages. I think that his maybe his success is guiding him towards this. This is why I'm like, maybe something happened to him, or is happening, or is about to happen, that is sort of forcing him to be like, I cannot be surrounded by people that somehow want to they want to judge me, or they want to put me down, or they want to restrict me. um, I want to be more free, or I want to see more options. I want to see what's out there. He seems like a very adventurous person. And also with the Empress, there's a lot of prosperity coming from him. There's a lot of abundance. He's very wanted. He maybe fits the ideal of a lot of people. He shines very brightly. So, the Walker is like, better things are coming if you are really open to new experiences, not just staying in this country, or not just staying with you working on the same projects over and over. You have to expand yourself. You have to expand your horizon. The whole world is watching you, and they want you. So I think that whatever disagreement he's having, maybe, with his industry, or maybe, with the industry that he's working in at the moment, there's more expansion outside. So it's better that you you change your swift, your vision, and um um your growth, your dedication to that side. And we have the naked baby. So again, it's like, take the leap, go overseas, be part of a very crazy project. The world is waiting. There's plenty of opportunity for you in the new horizon. Don't stay stuck with people that are probably a bit much more traditionalist, or they are a bit much more, more strict when it comes to their laws, or they're like, no, we don't do things like this. We have a system, and it's always been like this, and you have to. It feels like very military even. And he's a wild soul. There's something here, with the all these cars in here. And also he loves exposure. He wants to have fun. He wants to, maybe live a luxurious life. Or maybe he thinks that people overseas, or from other countries and cultures, they live life more luxuriously, or they have much more, like, fun things to do, and everything looks prettier over there. And he's like, maybe I should. Have you seen Signal? Did he just retire? He's 33. You mean Kentaro? He retired? Ah, okay. Signal, the K-drama, Hope? I want to watch it. I have to look for it. No, I haven't. I haven't watched Signal. I always saw the option of watching Signal, but I think I never finished it. And people wanted me to pull cards for him and Sana, because I believe the other day they were seen again in this fashion show event. So yeah, let's see about them. I believe I read for them last year when they had another meeting that Sana wasn't feeling her best. But yeah, let's see about them. Sana is very popular. Like her and other people, the opposite sex, all the time. All the time. Okay, Sana, about this man, about Kentaro, and Kentaro about Sana. Mm, Wait, that I'm going to write down the timestamps. Okay. Okay. From Sana perspective about this actor, about Kentaro, we have the Magician and we have the Eight of Cups. And from his side, we have the Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords. why he's so conflicted? And we have, among themselves, we have the card of Mother of Water. I mean, it would be the Queen of Cups. So I think that they have a cute interaction. There's something about them, empathizing with each other or being compassionate with each other, being gentle to each other when they see or when they have these, when they see each other in these events. Definitely they know each other, there's a familiarity, but there's also this like protection because it's like, oh, like I resonate with you or I connect with you, like, oh, or I don't know if there's one of them that is helping the other one out, maybe with translation or helping, with guidance, like I don't know. But the Queen of Cups is like, very motherly behavior, like, oh, do you need help with this? Yeah, I know someone, or but yeah, very very nice, very polite. Yeah, but from Sana's perspective, we have the Magician and we have the Eight of Cups. So, from Sana, honestly, like her being part of these events, and seeing people and meeting people and moving around, she's someone that has experience with this. She has a lot of experience. She's like the master. She's the master of these sort of, very social events. So there's something about her not thinking that much of him, actually, just like doing her part, adapting to whoever she encounters. If it's like, okay, we are here to take a picture, or you want us to do this here, okay, yeah. But it feels very much like in control, and also her being, she is more relaxed. I remember last year she got the cards and I was like, okay, is she okay? Because she seemed to be going through something. But this year, no. This year she's not. She was much more confident. She was much more in control. She was feeling very good about herself. But also the Eight of Cups is that she probably also wasn't in there to make like friends, or to she wasn't that emotionally available. With the Eight of Cups, it's like, I'm here to play a part. With the Magician, I'm here to, yeah, shine, to show up, but I do it from a place of like a star, like, oh, okay, I have to shine, okay, I have to smile here, I will do this, but I will not get like emotionally like, oh, how are you, like, really worrying about you or really caring. I think that there's no emotional connection from her. For her, it's like, okay, yeah, this is good for us, people want to see you, they want to see me. So it's all about, a very transactional thing. From his part, the Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords, and it's very funny because actually I believe that he got very confident cards last year when I read for the two of them, and now he is the one that was a bit nervous. He is the one that was a bit nervous. So I wonder what is going on with him. When it comes to Sana, yeah, he probably there was some misunderstanding, or there was something about him, being nervous, or just not. Maybe he wanted to say something and he couldn't, or he didn't understand, like he didn't, there was like some misunderstanding, or he wanted to say something and he didn't have the time. So it felt very chaotic. He probably was a bit confused at this event, somehow, like maybe people didn't tell him exactly how it's, maybe there was like a language barrier, but he felt very uncomfortable, like not knowing where to go, and seeming a bit lost. So this also brought him a bit of anxiety, like maybe being like, okay, like, did I do well? um Maybe he wanted to talk more to her, and because she she with the 8 of cups, she was leaving already. When you want to talk to someone and that person is already checking out, they are like, yeah, yeah, bye, see you later. And he was like, oh my, did I say something? Did I offend her that she left earlier? you know Poor guy. But yeah, they're okay. They appreciate each other, but there's a distance. There's There's a J drama. There's a J drama. It's not like the Korean one. I thought that it was, or this is like a. I want to look for it. Okay. I'm going to read for XLOV Wumuti. Wumuti. XLOV Wumuti. Okay. Nice. Well, a bit of a lot of activity, but yeah, it's going to do well. Wood to me, yeah. Wood Wumuti. Wumuti. Not Wutumi. Sorry. Wumuti. Yeah, I had it wrong. I had it wrong here in the book. And I kept saying it like a bird, like a parrot. I kept repeating it. Okay, King of Swords, Queen of Cups, Two of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, and we have the card of the Six of Wands, and it says victory. So very nice for Wumuti. Um, I definitely think that there's a lot of people that I know she's part of a group, definitely, because the group is XLOV. Um, but there's something about, maybe there's these two people that had been putting um, a lot of efforts, or they had a lot of trust in her potential, in particular this year. So there's something about them supporting her very much, or giving. He, not a she. Sorry, he's a guy. He's you, Jamie. Sorry, he's a he, not a she. Sorry. Um, because I do see here like father mother, but also very strict father mother. So this could be like managers or CEOs, people really like being a bit like giving him tough love, um and just reviewing what he does. But the Two of Wands is like, wow, I have a new chance. I'm really looking forward to the future. I have this new plan. Probably, well, it could be a comeback. It could be a comeback, but his energy feels like I have something to look forward to. So I don't know if it's the if this group has been active for a very long time, or if they are just starting. But he's now thinking, like, wow, he's now planning. He's able to see that things are moving for the group, and it's like, finally, finally, finally. But we have the Seven of Wands, so there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of aspiration. Maybe the company, or even themselves as a group, they are feeling very passionate about like, what can we do next? but there's also a bit of resistance that maybe this person is like, why do I feel like things are not going to be easy? Like, oh, you say that we're going to launch this, okay, but I don't, I don't trust. I'm a bit against. I'm a bit against. I'm a bit of an unbeliever. Um, and also the seven of wands is, could it be that he's a bit like fighting people? Does he have like people that don't like him? Because he's like, I keep advancing nevertheless, and I'm going to make it, because it seems like this person is also very prideful. So there's something I'm going to keep, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it. I'm used to things not being easy for me. I'm used to this. There's this feeling of like, I know it's not going to be easy. I know there's going to be challenges. I know people are going to judge me, or, somehow something is going to happen unexpectedly, and I have to be, he doesn't trust. He doesn't fully trust. He doesn't fully trust, but he's ready. He's ready. It's like, okay, it has to be this year. Like, it has to be this year. Probably it took a lot of months of planning for these people to finally give them something. Um, but he's like, okay, let's do this. And with the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven, it's like, yeah, the product, can be out. Maybe there's a comeback, or maybe there's like new music or an album, a physical album. But the Seven of Pentacles again is like, it's going to be materialized. It's going to be a reality, and it's going to look good. But probably the numbers are not going to be that good. So they have to work extra hard. They have to work extra hard. I don't know if it's about probably him or the other members, the group, presenting themselves more on social media, talking to the fans, creating a bigger community, attracting more people. And this is why we have, the Six of Wands, that is victory. Like, come on, like, you are almost there. You're almost there. Just keep, being ambitious, being competitive. Like, not so much of, I wouldn't say, like, because in here I'm like, I don't think that it's about communication, and it's like, oh, let's talk to the fans, but maybe create more content where people can see what you're about, or can see, your efforts or your material. Show your face a bit more. Show, being very positive, but being very competitive, because definitely they are in an environment where there's a lot of groups. There's going to come a lot of comebacks. There's going to be a lot of things. So things are not going to be easy. I don't see this person being compared to others, or this person's group, XLOV, being compared to others. But I think that there's something about, maybe because this person is like, there's a preconception about us, or or people had an attitude with me before, or I don't know if they had an issue before, and this person sort of can see it coming, like, okay, yeah, we will do this in the future, but I know there's going to be drama. I know there's going to be drama, or people not being sure about us. So, but things are moving, and there's going to be results, and there's going to be a victory. I think that it's about, taking one step at a time. Like, yeah, you can win this time. You can win this time. You can win people's hearts. You can actually, have a very decent number, I would say. But yeah, it's the beginning. So yeah. Ah, the concept is very gay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, probably, like I see, these two people are the ones that sort of, if he's a producer, these two people are the ones that are like, okay, we will give you the opportunity, show it. show it. But it's really good. It's really good. I mean, I think that he probably they probably have their fandom, because I don't see like they just started, but they have to keep, pushing it. They have to keep showing up. They have to have this attitude of like, being very victorious. Don't talk about your flaws. Don't talk about the things that you cannot do. Don't compare yourself to others. Just embrace, the good news, or embrace the good reviews. This is why I'm like, just like I said about the other person, it's giving me more than cancer season. It's giving me that for cancer people, they have to get more in the Leo energy, more in the Leo energy. Get more into your confident self, thinking that you're victorious already, that you have it already. Be much more willing to show up, show yourself, and be prideful of who you are. Don't show any weaknesses, and don't be like, oh yeah, it's just that, we wanted to make it better, but we didn't have enough. No, actually, I don't think that they have. I think that the resources there is. It's just that maybe they are like green still, not about, abilities, but there's something about him having to wait. mm. Mm-hmm. It's like show that you're really good at what you do. Like, don't think of yourself less. Don't compare yourself to others. Just be you, and the right crowd will follow you. Okay, I'm going to continue with Katseye Daniela and Katseye Manon. I'm going to pull the cards here for the both of them. Katseye Daniela and Katseye Manon. Okay, for Daniela we have the Tower. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the High Priestess. And we have the Hierophant. And then the last card is the card of the Ace of Air, that it will be like the Ace of Swords for her. Then for Manon, we have the Four of Swords. We have the the Queen of Swords. These girls have Let's see if it works. Can you hear me, guys? Okay. Yeah, I was saying that I see a lot of swords from them. So I'm like, these are Cancer women, but I see that they have a lot of air element, a lot of air element. Until what part did you hear? The name Manon. Well, for Manon, I said the Four of Swords, Queen of Swords, Two of Swords, Three of Cups, Six of Swords, knowledge. Both of them have a strong, like they have a lot to say. This is why I'm saying, like, they must have a lot of like air placements, because they have a lot to say. But I think that the more popular they get, maybe they will have to restrict a bit what they say. Even I know that that people have this very strong like, oh, these girls feel like a fresh of air, literally, because they are so fresh, their concept is so fun. But there's a still of K-pop in this, definitely, and I could see it because there's a lot of restriction in here. For Daniela, for example, with the Tower, Nine of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Hierophant, the Ace of Swords, there's something about this card. She has a lot of major arcana. So there's something about, the Nine of Pentacles is also about her individuality, or what makes her herself, the thing that you love about Daniela, the thing that the talents that she has. There's something about her being asked to be less of that. Or you are going to see it, like they're going to start to limit, or keep her more silent, or dress her differently, or not put her in certain maybe sexy outfits. Or there's something about, this is why we have the Tower and the Nine of Pentacles for her. So there's something about them wanting for her to be less herself. With the Tower is like, yeah, everyone is watching you, you are definitely very eye-catching, and you are so independent, and you are, this girl could be a soloist just herself, because she draws a lot of attention to herself. She's very she's so talented, and she has a lot of personality, a lot. But I see the company here, I see the company, and definitely there's like, yeah, we like this that you have, you are amazing, we love you, this cannot be denied, the people love you, the audience loves you. But then it's like, we would want you to be less of that. We have the Tower and the nine of Pentacles at the beginning. So there's something about like, we want you to sort of get rid of your individuality, of what makes you you. And then we have the High Priestess and the Hierophant. It's like, I don't know if she has mentioned something, if she had said something about the industry, or maybe her point of view, or if she's going to say it. And there's silence in here. There's something about like, we don't talk about those things. So if the girls do live streams, I know that they have very iconic moments in their live streams, and maybe they say their mind, they say their minds, and people just find it very nice. And it's like, wow, I love this, that we have these girls that are able to express themselves. Well, I see that the company is going to limit that. There's going to be silence, there's going to be hermetism, they're going to make Daniela more mysterious, maybe being like, yeah, we don't want you to stand up that much, we tone it down a bit, like, yeah, you are amazing, there's no discussion of this, but yeah, some things are going to change. It's like they chosen her because of her ability and her talents of being this amazing force. But then, as the company, um you know or whomever manages them, sees the potential, the success, the attraction, they will try to sort of, keep her more quiet, and just like, don't stand out that much. And there are certain things, we have rules in here, we don't work like this, there's certain things that you cannot do, because they want to make the girls more traditional. They want the initial project is that they want to be eye catching, but probably as time progresses you're going to see them much more, um, maybe serious, controlled. There's a lot of control. Is like, okay, you girls need to study a bit of our history, something like this. I don't know why, but it feels very like a doctrine. I don't know, like a doctrination. um and there's also contracts. There's something about like you cannot talk about these things, and you cannot say it. The thing that is very interesting is that I see the Ace of Swords in here. So if she has to remain mysterious, or if she has to not say anything, why do I have the Ace of Swords? It's like she's going to start certain conversations, or maybe she's going to say something. But I mean, it's next to the company. So I wonder if she's going to start like mentioning the company, or talking about the company, and sort of maybe, embracing the company, or just being very supportive, and um I don't see her just like hashing. I think that what is going to change is the content of the conversation, or what is going to be talked about. A lot of coaching, also, a lot of coaching in the way they express themselves. It's like, you cannot say that, you cannot do that. Um, but I think that for her it's like a whole shock. I think that this whole experience for Daniela feels like a shock, because maybe she's like, wow, I didn't think that I would make it while being myself. But when she started this, there was this feeling of like, we want you because of who you are. Like, you definitely bring something very valuable, you are amazing. But then slowly there's this feeling of like, you have to be less yourself. So it's weird. Sorry. And for the case of Manon, again, Manon feels much more like she's definitely had been observing this, and she has, I don't know if she had also started a certain conversation, um but she's like, she has been observing, like, listening to different parties. With the Four of Swords and the Queen of Swords, there's something about her, just not middling in conversations, or maybe if there's some information, or if there's some guidelines that she's receiving, she's like, standing, she's staying, just observing, and just trying to not take anything, like, personal. I mean, like, interesting, interesting, this that you're saying. Interesting. I will not react. I will not say anything. But she's very intelligent. She's very intelligent. Um, but then, at some point, she could be, this year. We have the Two of Swords in the middle, so there's something about her, also, just she cannot help but to see and to hear people, especially here. There's something about her, listening to people talking, and being like, I cannot believe you said that. um but she's like, in she's a Queen of Swords, but definitely she's being very humble, in the sense that I'm a student in here. I'm a student. I'm learning, I'm observing. I'm not going to get judgmental. It's just that, there could be a moment where she could express, to not to the company, I think that she could express it actually to the group and being like, what are they proposing to us? Because I'm confused. I have been hearing, taking notes, I have been paying attention. What do they want from us? And in this, I feel it that she's a part of the group. This is why I'm like, this is very her element, because she's really for the group. It's not so much, she's not speaking up for herself. She's not like, oh, I'm thinking about what they said to me. No, she's more thinking about the group. Like, what is your view about us? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you want us to be this, but then you don't want us to be this. So make up your mind. What is your vision of us? What do you want us to do? Because sometimes we are like, we don't know if you're doing great or what do you want us to do? It's like, yeah, be this, but no, don't be this. So she's a bit confused about the instructions. For her, it's all mental. It's all like, okay, I have been listening, I have been taking classes, I have been taking notes, I have been paying attention. So I'm like, this information that you're giving us is so confused. So I'm going to ask the members, like, are you girls hearing, are you listening to what I'm listening? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? Because I'm a bit confused. But the good thing about Manon is that she's a team player. She's a team player, and she's also very honest. She's very pro truth. She's always going to go towards the truth, the clarity. She's probably the one that she's going to raise her hand and be like, I don't understand. Can you repeat, please? Can you explain this again? I don't understand. So in this sense, she is like one of the maybe the members that can stand up and be like, this doesn't make any sense. Can you explain it all over, please? And she's probably keeping receipt of everything. She's documenting everything. Probably she's really good with internet or with devices, because but she's all for the group. At the end we have the Three of Cups. So she's like, if the girls are going, I'm going. If the girls are going, I'm going. But there's certain that maybe there's certain things that maybe the people tell them that she's like, this is BS. What is this? What is this? Like, what are you talking about? She's very intelligent. What is her IQ? And we have the Six of Swords, knowledge. So besides being this artist, is she studying? Is she like, does she have like other studies? Is she in university or college? Because she's so intelligent. Both of them are intelligent. Both of them are intelligent. It's just that I think that for her to pay attention and take notes, it's important, because she has that level. She's not emotionally, even though we're talking about two Cancer women in here, I don't see like for the group, she's emotionally involved. But at the same time, when it comes to maybe being famous or being part of this project, she's like very intellectual about all of this. And she's keeping herself calm. She's not thinking like, oh my God, what did you say? You're stupid. No, she could actually be smarter than a lot, but she's like trying to keep herself like, no comments. Like, I'm not like, yeah, please, you go ahead. You tell me your vision. I will listen. But she's very smart. She's very smart. It's just that she feels that there's something that doesn't match in here. There's something about her. Also with the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups, could it be that there was a moment where she felt like she wasn't going to be part of the team, or she felt a bit insecure about being part of the team? Because from time to time she can be a bit suspicious also. do they really like me? Am I really here because they like me? But it's because she's a very observant person. She's a very observant person, and she's very intelligent. And you can, and probably she knows things with the Six of Swords. She knows things, or she is very much updated about what people say on the internet. So she's very intelligent. So she, everything is knowledge in here. In the case of Daniela, I see it differently, because Daniela already comes with this presence. Daniela is aesthetics. I don't know, is like an ace. She's like a celebrity, or she's like this very talented performer. So there's something about for the case of Daniela, she brings her body, her presence to the group. And there's something about them wanting to change maybe the way she presents herself, or the outfits, or like, oh, don't do this, don't be that revealing, or like, let's calm down this, because we have certain rules and regulations, and they maybe will try to dress her like differently. But for Manon, is more like perceptions, like what happened, what you said to me, how you said it. If you said it in another language, I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to try to also understand that language so I can get more information. So it feels like, both are doing okay. It's just that one is doing the research. Manon is doing the research. She's keeping herself, um, you know, well organized with the information, with what is being said, what is being shared. And for Daniela is more like, okay, it's about the stage persona, is how she presents herself, the intensity of her performance, or how she's being seen. With the time, maybe they will try to, make her a bit modest in some aspects, like, don't be that, like that. Yeah, we love it for you, but don't, so yeah. But she is a star already, Daniela. I see it. I see it with the Nine of Pentacles. It's just that I think, like, okay, what are they doing with her potential? Because I see the Tower next to the Nine of Pentacles. So there's something about them taking away her talents. Like what makes her her, or what makes her stand out next to the Tower, is like, we are removing all of that. And it's like, but why? I don't understand. And she probably feels it. She perceives it. She's like, are you saying that you want me to be less talented? You want me to be more basic? Something like this. um, okay, I'm going to continue with Illit Wonhee. Illit Wonhee. Manon is a Capricorn moon. I can feel the coldness. This is why I'm like, wow. It feels like she's very rational. She's very like controlled. Okay, for Illit Wonhee, we start with it's very funny that these Cancer idols, like not all of them, they got the Seven of Cups in the middle, so I'm like, they are such dreamers, but yes. Okay, for her, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Seven of middle, we have the Five of Wands, and we have the Star card. And then from the other deck, we have the card of oppression, the Nine of Wands. This is a card that idols get a lot, the Nine of Wands. It's like this feeling of like being oppressed. This member, I know Illit is a very young group. I definitely can see it here because there's something about Wonhee. I don't feel her energy yet. I feel other people. Like these two queens in here, they are the ones that sort of guide Wonhee. Like they are the ones that tell Wonhee what to do. They tell her what to say. They are like it could be the oldest members of the group, but for me it's like more like CEOs, more like managers, CEOs. They are very much in control. They are the ones that they are like, okay, Wonhee, you're going to do this. This is how we're going to do this. They give Wonhee a specific guidelines, specific advices. It's like I don't know. I think that is to make Wonhee also feel much more, probably much more stable and secure. That she has these two very influential ladies. She have them, like sort of mother figures, but they are also very career. These are very strategic women. They are women in power, so they probably think that Wonhee her potential is amazing, but they are, behind her. They are supporting her more than the others, or they are all the time like whispering things to Wonhee, like, do this, do that, do the other, like, but probably it's because she's very young. So maybe these women are like somehow coaching her, or they are guiding her into becoming very confident or much more secure of her potential, not doubting herself that much. But I think that also is information. Maybe it's like, okay, you have to act like this, or you have to behave like this, or you have to do this. They are very much like behind her. They are, they don't leave her alone, I would say. I don't know about the other members, but I think that with Wonhee there's a specific attention. It's like, okay, we want you to do this, or maybe, I don't know, be flawless, be be prepared. We given you this, so you don't miss in here, or you don't I don't know if they sort of trained her to be perfect. Perfection, there's something about perfection, because the Seven of Cups in the middle is, maybe it's Wonhee's energy, that this girl was promised a lot of things. There's something. This is why I'm like, she's very young, because she's very impressionable in that sense. These women are always whispering in her head. I wonder if this is like her mother and a CEO, both of them working together. They plant these ideas, these aspirations in her mind. From time to time, I think that she's very confused, about what is expected of her, but she's also very worried about not disappointing people. So the Seven of Cups is like, her, just being a bit innocent also about, okay, I hope I do this right, or I hope people like this. She's still very, very um uh, she's not that grounded. She's a bit living in an illusion. That this is why I'm like, these two people here are very focused on on guiding her, and maybe, not bursting her bubble and be like, keep going like this, keep going like this, yeah, you're doing amazing, keep being like this, you know um but at the same time, the Seven of Cups, I think that there's moments where, she sees things, she is not that naive. She sees that there's other options, other opinions. um but the Seven of Cups is giving me illusion. She's selling people an illusion, or she's part of people's imagination, or she, maybe the concept of the girls is very much about dreams, and it's all about, the intuition, and it's all very sweet, and it's all very like unreal. So there's something about Wonhee's energy feeling unreal also, feeling like, I don't know who I am yet. I do what they tell me. I try to do my best. She does know there's haters. She does know it because I see it here. I see it here. I see the haters. I see the haters. They don't like her. There's a lot of people that don't want this girl to shine, but she will shine anyways. But with the Five of Wands and the Star, she knows that even though she has the support of very influential people, and also she probably in the group she feels supported, and she's doing her role, because she's selling you this fantasy, and she's doing it amazingly, and she's okay. Actually, this is she's a girl that she's okay. She's not troubled nor traumatized, because she has, these people that are always watching her. um, but definitely in the future there's going to be, people trying to bring her down, her or the group, because we have the Star card. So there's something about people being against her being a star, or her and the group being successful. So somehow, it's also part of the challenge of this year, understanding that you cannot be liked by everyone, and that with the Star card, there's this potential of them, being in the spotlight, being really good at what they do. With the Star card, is like giving this very beautiful message, standing out, being very positive, or being very, very bright, having a very, nice concept, and actually having the abilities, having the star potential. It's just that, there's going to be conflicts, people, there's going to be haters, there's going to be people that are like, oh, I don't like this that you do, I think that you're fake, or this that you do, I don't like this. So in this, there's this feeling of like, sometimes when I think about the Seven of Cups in the middle, for me it's like I prefer for her to be like Seven of Cups, with your head in the clouds, like I always say. Get distracted, like get distracted. Don't pay attention to the haters. Don't go online. Don't read what they say. Don't follow, if you see bad vibes, or if you feel like the bad vibes, just don't stay there. This is why I think that, maybe these people are also like not only like the mentors, but probably these are like guardians of the girls, being like, we don't want you there, get out of there. Being a bit like behind the girls, like, okay guys, what are you watching, what are you consuming, what are you doing? It feels very, this is why we have the card of oppression, Nine of Wands, because definitely she at the end, probably this year, she could feel a bit claustrophobic. She could feel like, okay, with the Star card, it's like maybe the comeback is going to be amazing, her career is going to, grow, and her and the girls are going to do amazing, and the support is going to be there. They are going to shine. But there's this feeling of oppression. I see a lot of people, cornering, not cornering, like, um, being around the girls, especially one. I don't know about the others. I should read about the others so I would know maybe their energy. But there's something about Wonhee that maybe they found her very precious or very sensitive. So they're like, we will better keep more an eye on her specifically today or in this season. Or maybe they're just very possessive of her, and maybe she's a visual, or if she's, I don't know, she's like the one that stands out. Maybe there's something about these women being like, we cannot leave her alone, we have to take care of her. They give her maybe a more unflexible uh, you know I don't know, regimen or diet, and they're like, no, you have to take care of your skin like this, or you have to take care of your hair like this. There's a lot of a lot of energy and eyes on this girl. This is why we have the card of oppression. It's going to feel very heavy, and the more popular they get, the more stars they become. This is the side of you being probably this popular, this successful, that you feel a bit, at least maybe it's because they're young. So she maybe feels like, I'm invaded in here because they don't leave me alone. They're always watching what I do. They don't let me, maybe she's thinking like, okay, I want to go out, not go out, but there's something, maybe she wants to talk to her friends and being a person of her age, and there's always like people behind her. So, and also there's this level of them seeing her like literally she's a child, like she is, I don't know if she's the youngest, but there's this like, these are like babysitters. So yeah, but the success is going to be there, the success and the haters, but she's always going to shine nevertheless. the the Lulu card. I swear that I even felt suffocated while saying the words. I started to feel like I cannot breathe. Poor girl. It's tough. People have like high standards on her future, or maybe her career, her image. There's a lot of eyes on her, and she feels like, wow. Okay, I'm going to continue with Enhypen Sunoo. Enhypen Sunoo. Okay. For Enhypen Sunoo, we have the Four of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Pentacles, have the Ten of Wands in the middle, we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Nine of Wands. A lot of wands. And then we have the Seven of Wands. That it says bravery. Actually, the cards are very obvious. I wonder if this Queen of Wands is either his mom, his mother, or if this is the fans being his mother. A very overbearing mother, very pushy, very pushy. Because why do I feel like people, is it underestimate? I don't think that it's overestimate. It's underestimate. They think less of Sunoo's potential. And definitely things are not things are challenging for Sunoo. I don't know if physically, if he has a condition or something, but he's a person that slowly he will get there. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So definitely he had been working on something, or maybe just being insistent on making it, or maybe finishing a project or being part of a project.
And he definitely he has a system. With the Four of Pentacles, there's something about him. He does things his way. Probably he's slower than the others. His achievements or his results, it takes a while. It takes a while for him to get there, and he's slow. So or maybe he has been working on something and it has been like a slow progress. And and, and also he's very stubborn. He's a very stubborn person. It's like if he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to tell you like I'm doing it my way. So he doesn't take advice from others. So he does things at his rhythm, at his pace, but he's very hardworking. Nevertheless, in the middle we have the Ten of Wands. So there's something maybe about him. This maybe something is challenging. Maybe people see him that he is overwhelmed by a lot of responsibilities, or maybe the group. I don't know what the group has been up to. I believe they had a comeback, but maybe he's struggling with certain events or with certain activities. um but he's doing it. I think that he is someone that there's something about his energy being like, life is like this for me. Maybe I do have to put extra effort than others don't. And for me, life is tough. Or I have to keep going. Like I mentioned, he's very stubborn. He doesn't like to quit. So there's something about maybe he, people, ask, people being like, offering their help. I mean, like, do you want us to help you with that? And he's like, no, I got this. I got this. I can do this. I got this. And maybe people being like, you're taking, it's taking a while for you to get there. Are you sure you're okay? And he's like, I got this. I got this. I can do this. I can do this. And also the Nine of Wands. He hides behind these responsibilities. There's something about him. You know, um, I'm not saying that he likes for things to be complicated, but there's something about him, while he is busy sustaining all these challenges, he doesn't have to, face other things that maybe he's not happy with. So there's something like, no, leave me with this never ending project. I will keep working on this, even if it takes me forever, because he's like caught up in this effort, or in this struggle. He's caught up. I would be like, drop the ones, so no, drop them, drop them. Don't be so stubborn. Just say it. I cannot do this. Drop it. Drop it. Or ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say like, I cannot do this on my own. I cannot do this. I tried. I cannot do this. It's not a sign of weakness. But he's very stubborn in sustaining. He sustains, he sustains, he sustains. And this is why I'm like, is this his mother or is this the fans? Because the fans are seeing it and the fans are like, I cannot believe that you're doing this to him. Because why are you putting him in this situation? Why? Like, no, no, no. And also the Queen of Wands is giving me very invasive, like a very invasive mother. Like maybe you think that you're helping him, but you're not helping him, because he doesn't want to be helped. He wants to keep he wants to prove himself. There's something about Sonu this year being like, I want to I want to earn resilience from this. I can do this. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to take a side and be like, okay, okay. So, so I think that there's something about like maybe people getting a bit like um, um angry, angry at his situation, or seeing him struggle like this, or seeing him, I don't know if it's in pain, or I don't think that he's in pain. I think that he's working. I think that he's working. He's being productive. It's just that maybe is challenging. But I think that he was offered help. He was offered, like, okay, do you want us to help you with this? But he wants to prove himself. He wants to prove himself that he can do this. I have all these ones in here, all these pentacles. It's all about results. He wants to get to the finish line. He wants to prove himself that he can do this. It's just that, like I said, there's something about him not accepting help from others and just insisting in sustaining situations or, things that, yeah, maybe they are not beneficial for him. So um, I think that instead of, if you're looking for someone to blame, or if you think that someone is doing this to Sonu specifically, I think that you should talk to him, because he is the one that keeps going. He's not going to stop. He's a very stubborn person, and if you tell him something, he gets on his nerves. He gets very like, and also he's someone that you cannot convince him otherwise. I think that maybe the more you want to impose yourself, like to be like, maybe why don't you stop? And he's like, no, no. But the Seven of Wands, again, as the last card, the card of bravery. He wants to prove people that he can do this, that he's brave enough, that he has the energy, that he has the willpower, that he has the passion, that he has, the stamina, maybe. It may take him longer than others, but he's like, I got this. I can do this. It's just that maybe people has been noticing that this, he has been struggling with something for a very long time, and they're like, why are we still seeing him in this position? And I think people had reached out to him and been like, do you need help? Do you want us to do something for you? He's like, no, no, let me be. I can do this. I can do this. I got this. I got this. But yeah, very exhausting year for Sonu of Enhypen. But he's working. He's working. I think that this is about him being active, or him being active physically. There's something about him like, I got this. I can do this. I don't want to be perceived as a victim, or as someone that is not brave enough. I have the energy. I can do this. I can do this. So yeah, but I see a woman, or maybe it's the fans, sort of protesting over this. I mean, like, we don't like this. He has been, battling with this for a very long time. We don't like this. We don't like this. But tell him that. Tell him that. But he wants to be brave. He got the card of bravery. So this is important for him to keep going no matter the obstacles. Like, definitely the cards are like, no, it's not. Definitely, yeah, he doesn't have it easy, but he's so stubborn. He's like, let me do this. I want to prove myself that I can do this, that I don't quit. I don't quit. Okay, guys. The last one. Hola, Akira. The last one. Then I'm going to go. That I have to cook. And I have to go and watch my baby, what she's doing. I hope she's behaving. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, the last one. The actress Kim Go Eun. Hmm. Okay, for her, the High Priestess, the Hangman, Five of Wands in the middle. A lot of wands for these Cancer people. Ten of Wands, strength. Another one that is like, I got this, I got this, I can do this. And we have the card of the Eight of Swords, interference. So what is going on with Go Eun and her projects? First of all, starting the year, she has been very private and quiet, sort of observing the situation, observing the chaos, I would say, because there's disagreement. Whatever project she's in, she's like trying to not get involved. She's trying, she's a very intelligent woman, very perceptive. Also, she's very intuitive. She has a lot of knowledge. She's a queen, definitely. I love how unbothered she is. It's like she's protecting her energy. She's blocking any kind of negativity. She's taking a pause. She's like, I'm not getting involved in this. I'm not getting involved in the drama. You guys fight all you want. I'm just staying drama free. But she's observing. She's like, okay, I will join when you guys stop, arguing. But in the middle, we have the Five of Wands. So could it be that there's some problems with her future projects? Or maybe a project that is ongoing, but there's differences between people? It feels very challenging. I don't know if in there you have, a lot of egos or a lot of famous people, and these are fighting each other. They are not on the same page. Some say yes, some say no. So she's like, oh, wow. She's like, oh, this is a lot. This is challenging. The conflict is in there. A lot of arguing, a lot of back and forth, a lot of ego. I don't know what happened, but I think that there's something about, I don't know if the people that are working on this project of hers, they somehow got their egos up there, very high up there, that now that maybe in the past they used to say yes to certain guidelines or certain agreements, and now they're like, no, I demand double, pay me double, or I don't know, give me more scenes. I don't know. I think that people are getting more greedy. And she's like observing that, from her perspective of also being someone very experienced, someone that has been in the industry for a very long time. But she's not judging. She's just observing and being like, okay, let them fight. But yeah, in the future, 10 of Wands, um, and we have the strengths card. So I think that for her, this honestly is a waste of time. The thing about this disagreement, or if there's drama, is that somehow is making her waste time. Or probably she has to wait, or she has to, wait for this to be over, and then she has to carry on with, her involvement in this. And with the 10 of Wands and the strengths card, there's this feeling of like, oh, I don't want to work like this. It feels like the atmosphere is so heavy, is so negative, and is so draining because people are difficult. But with the strengths card as the last card, there's this, she really is a star, or she's really a very well established artist, because the ability that she has to hold herself, to self control, to manage her emotions, and being like, I will not react, I will not even complain, even if I have to so disorganized and they don't know what they want. But I will work the extra hours, and I will show up nevertheless, and I will do my part, even though I'm tired. But she cannot wait to finish this. Definitely. It's so problematic. It's so scandalous. And with the strength card, it's so interesting because we start the reading for him going, we start the reading with the high priestess that is like this very wise, major arcana, and we end the other side of the reading with the strengths. So there's something about her just being very patient, just being very patient, being very mature, very intelligent. And she's like, I will not say, I think that there's a lot of aggression. There's a lot of people being angry or not satisfied. So, she also feels it, but she's like, I will not say anything. I will I will hold it in, I will not say what I really think of these people because everyone is so childish. But she's like remaining, she could shout, she could scream at someone, but she's like, I better breathe. I better take it slow. I better calm down. I'm going to be patient because, it's my job. I have to do this. Maybe she committed to do this and now she's regretting it. She's like, oh. And maybe people are in a rush. They want to finish it before the year ends or something like this. With the Eight of Swords, interference. What is she working on? Because there could be drama here, not I mean, the drama is being created. The K-drama is being created, but the Eight of Swords is giving me, yeah, there could be someone having a rumor. Could it be? Could it be someone having a rumor? And this also affecting them? Yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging. It's challenging. It's not going to be an easy year. It's not going to be an easy year. There's someone, I don't know, in the cast that she works in. There's probably drama with some actor, with someone is in the middle of a very chaotic something because it's affecting the advances, or maybe it's a director. I don't know. It's not her, but definitely it's getting her in the way of her productivity. It's like prolonging a process that should be easier and much more, much more, better arranged to be executed. It feels like they are. I don't know if they're shooting a scenes. It feels like it's. Where are you shooting these scenes? That it feels so dangerous. It feels so unprofessional, even, or it feels like things are not ready. People are fighting. Um, the money also. Where is the money? I don't see. I don't see here. I see like. Yeah, a lot of ego in here. A lot of ego, but she will try her best. She will try her best. This year feels like whatever she's working on is demanding a lot of her energy, but she's so wise. She's so wise. She has to breathe because it's tough. It's a tough year. She's a very pacifist person. She doesn't get angry that that often. It's like she controls herself, but seeing this, she's like, oh my god, like, where did I get myself into? Okay, guys, I'm going to go. I don't know if you can hear me, and maybe the chat is stuck or you guys are not talking, but yeah, I'm going to go because I have to cook and you guys have to continue with your Sunday. Is it Sunday today? Yeah. And I have to go and check on my baby. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you so much for the recommendations. Definitely, if there's another cancer idols, I will continue next Sunday. But I wanted to let you know that next Sunday, actually, I'm going to do the live stream, but it's going to be dedicated to Chinese actors, actresses. So yeah, if you guys are fans of C-dramas, and if you know about these celebrities in China, and you want to leave me the recommendations, their names, I appreciate it very much. I'm going to create a post about this, but yeah, next Sunday is all going to be um, for C drama lovers, if there's some in the community. So thank you so much, guys. And next Wednesday, I'm going to continue the series of romance in 2025, and it's going to be dedicated to GOT7 members and Shiny members. So yeah, if you're a fan of any of those groups, and if you want to join, and if you can, and if you're okay joining, I will see you there. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much for being here today, guys. Love you. Bye.